Hey guys, I'm Hellhound, and I've been getting a lot of requests to review a certain movie. A lot of you guys asked about this one, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And that movie being Jeepers Creepers, directed by Victor Salva from 2001. It's a really good, kind of more modern horror film. One of the last, monster movies of the more recent era that I can think of. Pretty good movie. I have a few issues with it, certain things I don't like, which I'll get to in a minute. But before we get started, I want to get one thing out of the way. I don't want to spend the entire review talking about the controversy surrounding director Victor Salva. For those of you who don't know, in 1988 he directed a movie called Clown House, a really good horror film with some great suspenseful and creepy scenes, some truly eerie sequences. Victor Salva knew that a lot of people were afraid of clowns, and he used that to his advantage. There's a lot of really dark scenes of them hiding in the shadows. Some great suspense. Good movie. Unfortunately, he also filmed himself performing sexual acts with the movie's young star, Nathan Forrest Winters. So Winters went public with that information. There was a huge controversy surrounding Victor Salva. Pretty much, created a huge stigma attached to his name. This is in the 90s. He served jail time. A lot of people boycotted his movie Powder. A lot of people never give him a chance of that. A lot of people hate his, they don't watch his movies. They hate his directing skills. But I must say, he's a competent director. He knows how to, as I said, he knows how to direct suspenseful scenes. He knows how to create creepy atmosphere. He's really good at, scary visuals. You can definitely tell he's a fan of like old school monster movies. He's definitely a horror fan. And he knows what other horror fans want to see. He's really good at putting that on the screen. It's just unfortunate he also happens to be a disgusting pedophile. But I'm going to do my best to separate the man's work from his personal life. With that out of the way, if you're one of those people who refuse to watch his movies for that, I can respect that. I can certainly understand why. But I gotta say, he's a good director. Jeepers Creepers is a pretty good film overall. Well, let's get right to it. Siblings Trish and Derry, played by Gina Phillips and Justin Long, respectively, are on they're driving on a desolate country highway on some kind of road trip. I think it's like for spring break. And they're nearly run off the road by, some maniac driving a beat-up old truck with a license plate. It says, they think it says beating you at first. Turns out it actually says something else. And they witness this man throw a body down a sewer pipe, like outside of some creepy abandoned church, I believe. And so they go to investigate. Derry ends up falling down into it. He discovers like all kinds of grotesque creations out of dead bodies everywhere. Some sewn together. Some really nasty looking artwork created from the deceased. Dead humans, missing several body parts. He discovers one of them still alive in this bag, and he's like all sewed up, and he's dying. It's really, really creepy scene, really disturbing. As I said, some really disturbing imagery in this film, with Salva definitely excels at. It's definitely one of his strong points, is the visuals. And so, some of these people are missing body parts, and then, Derry and Trish are both terrified. They want to get to the bottom of it. He finally gets out of the sewer, they go to the police. Well, it turns out, the man driving the truck, and this is going to contain minor spoilers if you haven't seen the movie. I am going to reveal what type of villain this man is. I'm going to reveal his motives, all that stuff. I kind of have to in order to talk about the movie. But I gotta say, before I go any further, at this point watching the movie, I thought I was really in for a treat. I said, man, this is going to be a great horror movie. I was like, wow, I'm just really in for something special. I was mostly right. Well, it turns out that this man is actually some kind of demonic creature with sharp teeth and claws and wings. He's looks like a demonic bat monster or something. He's definitely not human. And so he picks out people that he likes, and he eats their body parts, things that he needs to replenish himself. And so, yeah, really disturbing stuff. Really scary. Some really awesome scenes with the creature, fighting cops and, like, breaking into a prison and feeding on, prisoners and other stuff. But unfortunately, there's a really creepy scene where there's a cat lady, and he pretends to be her scarecrow, and then she shoots at him, and then he escapes, and he kills her. Definitely a great villain, great monster. The fact that he dresses like a man, he wears clothes and a hat, and he even whistles the theme to, that Jeepers Creepers, that old song. He whistles the tune to that. And that song's really prevalent in the movie, by the way, using some really creepy scenes. It's a kind of a creepy song, when it's used this way, honestly. And so, but where the movie loses me is when they introduce a psychic character. This lady arrives. She knows everything that's going on. I guess they thought it was necessary to explain the creature's motives and where he comes from. But honestly, I didn't need an explanation. The movie could have just been as simple as he's a monster that kills people. Instead of he, awakens every 23 years to feed for 23 days, and everything he eats becomes a part of him. I really didn't need all that. He could have just been some otherworldly creature that eats people's body parts. I thought that was mysterious and scary enough. I didn't need an explanation. Usually when a movie has a psychic character, it usually just becomes really cheesy. It's an overused, really cliche plot device. I'm really sick of seeing it in horror films, and so I gotta take points off this movie for that. That character was totally unnecessary. She was totally unneeded. The damn psychic, she just been cut from the movie completely. She really ruined those last scenes for me. I wish the creeper would have just did away with her. Oh god, she got on my nerves. But I loved, I loved the main characters, Trish and Derry Jenner. I was really felt close to them, and I wanted to see, them. As cool as the creeper was, I wanted to see them, them make it to the end, and then defeating him. But yeah, he's a very scary creature. Jonathan Breck actually played him. He did a good job. It was a great costume, great special effects, great makeup. But yeah, the psychic character is just unnecessary. Just really messed it up for me. It really ruined a lot of my enjoyment. I wish they just cut that out. I did not need an explanation. I really didn't. I thought it made him more interesting and scarier the less we knew. Those scenes in the sewer with all the dead bodies and missing body parts is really creepy and done really well. The directing is excellent. The cinematography is really good. Of course, I said the acting by the leads. Gina Phillips and Justin Long is really good. Aline Brennan plays the cat lady. She's not in it very long, but she does a good job. The psychic, I guess the performance is good. She just irritated me. I wish she hadn't been in the movie. That was just a bad idea. I just hate when they use that. It's so generic and just so monotonous when they do that. Just like taking the easy way out. I didn't need it. But yeah, this film it's really scary. It does really go with the suspenseful scenes. The fact that they keep the creature in the shadows a lot of the time. You don't really get a good look at him. It's definitely a good idea. Salvo really knows how to create some suspenseful, genuinely scary moments. He really excels at that. I just wish that some of it had been written a little better. It's a good screenplay. I wish certain things have been changed, like, obviously like the aforementioned psychic. But yeah, I was really excited to see this movie, and I heard about it when it first came out. I was dying to see it. I saw it. I loved the first half. I felt like I was in for a good time. It really lost me when the psychic was introduced, and I also wanted it to be a human at first, but then the fact that it's some evil demon who eats people kind of grew on me. I kind of enjoyed that. The Creeper, a great horror villain, one of the last really, truly good, creative ones, for sure. And, so yeah, it's a good movie. I do have to take some points off because the damn psychic, but, I will say Salva knows how to give horror fans what they want, as I said. He knows how to deliver the scares. He's really good at that. It's unfortunate as what he does in his free time. I don't condone that whatsoever. He may not be a good person, but he's a good director, a good filmmaker. And so, yeah, Jeepers Creepers. Check it out. I recommend it. It's pretty good. It was followed by a sequel, Jeepers Creepers 2. I didn't like that one nearly enough as much. I like the scenes in the cornfield and stuff. He's back. You see a lot more of the Creeper this time. And he kind of resembles Freddy Krueger from Nightmare on Elm Street 2 a little bit, I noticed. The way his face, it kind of looks like the makeup, his face kind of looks burnt. It kind of looks like Freddy. And yeah, you do see a lot more of him. They kind of go a little more into his backstory. There's another stupid psychic character. This time it's like a bunch of jocks and cheer preps, some cheerleaders and football players break down. I get there on the way to a game or something, the team, or from a game. Their bus breaks down. The creeper stalks them throughout. He always has all these weird weapons that I think he's made from body parts, which is pretty cool. You actually get to see him eat somebody's head, and then that human head becomes his. So he goes a little more into that. I really didn't care for that ability. I think it's kind of silly. It's better to see he just eats people. I think it was kind of cool at the end of this one. Spoiler alert, when he gets Darius' eyes, though. I thought that was kind of cool when it's playing that Jeepers Creepers song. But yeah, this one could have been a lot better. I didn't find it nearly as entertaining. I thought it was kind of boring. I saw this in the theaters. It just wasn't quite as good. The school bus just broken down. The creeper picking off people one by one. Certain people he likes. I guess I should probably mention the gay undertones associated with the creeper character. I mean, in this one, he's smelling Darius' clothes. He sniffs his underwear. There's so much talk about how he wants his body parts. And I mean, it is directed by Salva, so go figure. And in this one, there's so many shirtless men, and there's scenes where they're all like standing in a line, just taking a piss, like right next to each other. It's like, why would you? It's like, no, man, move a few feet away, damn, at least. And but you can tell it's a Salva film. He always puts crap like that in his movies. Not that it's really a problem. It doesn't take away. But it's just knowing what he's done, kind of just when I see like some of that come through to the screen, just kind of like it just grosses me out. But this one's okay. I think this one's way better. The sequel could have been better. And they're talking about making a part 3, Jeepers Creepers Cathedral. And they've been talking about that for years. I guess it's been in development hell. I think it's finally coming out now. And the rumored plot is that Trish Jenner, Gina Phillips reprising her role, is going to return. And, I guess look for her brother, who's been missing for all these years. He actually showed up as a ghost in part 2. I kind of didn't want him to die. I liked him. He was a cool character. Sorry if I spoiled the ending, but I did say that the movie would have this review would have spoilers. I think everybody who requested that I do this one, has obviously already seen the movie anyway. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a part 3. I just hope it's better than part 2. And, I'd like to see more of the creature doing his thing. The Creeper's, pretty interesting villain. Definitely a great monster movie. And Salva's a good director, as I said. I'm not going to let his extracurricular activities... I'm just going to separate. I'm not going to think of that when I watch his movies, though. It is kind of hard to do sometimes. But, I guess he says he learned his lesson. He says he feels bad about it. He was confused, blah, blah, blah. But, I can't help but feel bad for that Winters kid. He's grown up now, and his childhood is destroyed. I mean, that's just unforgivable. That's something that, he'll never have back. And, it's really hard not to hold it against Salva for doing that. That's just a scumbag. But, as I said, he makes good movies, and I'll continue to watch him, and just try not to think about other stuff. But yeah, I'd say check out Jeepers Creepers. Pretty good. Genuinely good, scary movie. Good little horror flick. Good little monster movie. It's definitely inspired by some of the classic B movies. Some of the old school horror. And you can tell Salva was a fan of those, like the creature features and stuff like that. And I definitely think we need more modern horror films that feel influenced by the classics, and so I think that's definitely a good thing, and so I commend him for I admire his work. I commend him for being able to do that. But all right, guys. Well, I'm Hellhound. Finally reviewed Jeepers Creepers. I hope you guys liked it. Thank you for watching the show, and until next time.